Alright, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another tier list. It's been a little bit since I've done a tier list, but this is going to be for the AEW Championships. So, we've done WWE Championships, at least the current WWE Championships, in the past, but I decided let's also look at the AEW Championships. Now, a couple things right off the bat. For starters, because some of these championships had variations on them, I decided to include them as well. Only because there's not really a whole lot of AEW championship. So I decided, what the heck, I'd throw them in there. Versus like the WWE championships, a lot of them have had different variations, several variations over the years, which makes sense because WWE's been around for much longer, obviously. So those we might devote separate lists for. But I debated whether or not to throw the Ring of Honor championships in there, because of course Ring of Honor is kind of an AEW subsidiary. He kind of part of like the AEW roster and everything, in a lot of ways. But ultimately, I decided I wouldn't, and I probably might do another list for the Ring of Honor championships, and probably all the companies and everything. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. But nevertheless, we got our AEW championships here, and there's quite a few of them. I almost forgot how many there were, and just like the amount of variations as well for them. But we also have our tiers here. So we have our All Elite tier, meaning it's a really solid championship, a really good, beautiful looking championship. And not gonna lie, I'm sure there's gonna be this one is gonna be pretty full. This one's definitely not gonna be empty this time around. But then we also have A tier, meaning it's a really solid, good looking championship, if not top tier. We have B tier, which sorry, it is allergy season, of course, but we have B tier, which it is like kind of the middle ground, not great, not horrible, but still good or like okay in terms of championship design. We have C tier, which is like almost at the bottom, one or two things keeping it from the bottom, but otherwise a really not great looking championship. And then we have the bottom tier, which is causing a rampage because the design is oh so terrible. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting with the AEW World Championship. And I told you that All Elite would have a lot of championships. It's probably, or at least some championships in there, and this is definitely one of them. This is a beautiful title. Like, the first time I saw this title, I fell in love with it. It's definitely a unique looking title. It's got all like the diamonds and stuff throughout. It's got this centerpiece. It's got the two side pieces on there, the AEW logo. And like the globes and everything. A bit of repetition with this part and this part and then this part and this part, but not enough to dull it. And I like how the white and the gold will intermix with each other, and the black strap. It is a really beautiful looking championship. So the AEW World Championship is definitely All Elite. It is a really beautiful looking championship. Really good looking championship. Next up is the Triple B version of the AEW World Championship, aka the Big Burberry belt, introduced by Mr. MJF, kind of as a custom championship. Pretty much the same as this one, the only difference being the Burberry strap. It looks okay, and it's definitely unique for MJF, obviously, because MJF wears a lot of Burberry. I think the one gripe I have with this, I wish this was more on like the lighter brown side, as Burberry normally is. So if I look up Burberry, as you can see here, or Burberry, he wore like a lighter brown. And wow, I forgot how much Burberry stuff they have. They got, of course, Burberry backpack, Burberry jacket, Burberry scarf like MJF wears. But this one more on like the darker brown side. So I wish it was lighter brown. But otherwise, it's Triple B, I think, kind of gets the point across. So I think I'll just call it Triple B. We'll go in A. It definitely gets the point across, and it's definitely like it almost looks a little too ugly, but I think that's kind of the idea, where MJF kind of like snobs it up because that's MJF's character, or which I just did a discussion video on whether or not he'll go to WWE, so if you haven't already, go check out that video. But yeah, so So it is going in A tier. Then next up is the AEW Women's World Championship, the original design. And not a fan of this one, and don't like the circle. It kind of has like the gold and silver, or kind of similar to the World Championship, but not a fan of that like circular design. And it kind of has like that throwback look, because that's how a lot of the old school championships used to look. But not really a fan of it. So sadly, this one. Yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta put this one. So original AEW Women's World. Women's World Championship. Yeah, sadly, not the biggest fan of that design. But thankfully, they changed it up. I think this got changed up when. I think it got changed up when Riho won the title, if I'm not mistaken. But this is the new Women's World Championship. Way better, in my opinion. And going for more of like a square design. And having a lot more detail, a lot more going on this. Like I said, this is much better than this I'll actually give like an A. So that the original is causing a rampage because it's not great. But this I'll definitely give an A. I don't know if I want to put it necessarily in All Elite, but it is a lot better. It's a lot better compared to the other one, and it is still a really good looking championship in my opinion. Like I look at the design throughout all this going on and this black / like brownish kind of strap, I think works really well for it. So this I'll definitely put in A tier. And again, what an upgrade from this one. But next up is the TBS Championship. Oh, also keep in mind, these are all my opinions, so if you disagree with any of these, that is completely fine. But next up is the TBS Championship. Pretty much the same as like the TNT Championship, but obviously for TBS and obviously for the women, and having the TBS logo there, and then kind of this blue part as a heart to kind of counter like the TNT Championship with its red part. But the TBS Championship, I think, looks pretty solid. I think I'll give it a B. So the TBS Championship, I think I'll put it in B. Still pretty good looking championship. But now we move into the TNT Championship designs, and I forgot how many variations there were of the TNT Championship. Starting with the original, this is the one that was introduced by the inaugural champion Cody Rhodes. Not the biggest fan of this one. Like, red straps are a bit of a gamble as WWE in their Universal Championship, but I think thankfully the silver kind of like offsets it a little bit. The fact that there's much more silver than red, and the fact that it's not like the Universal Championship where it was almost completely red. So if I look up Universal Championship, it's probably gonna show me the blue version, but I want the red version. Yeah, there's the eyesore, or how this like is mostly red, and they try to have the gold and the silver to off balance it, but it doesn't work. But here I think it works a lot better, having like the predominantly silver there, but not really the best looking design, I'll admit. So the original TNT Championship, I don't know if I want to put it in causing a rampage, but I will put it in C tier. But next up is going to be the gold and red variation of the TNT Championship. This is the one introduced by Brody Lee, rest in peace to him. And actually, this is the version that I believe was donated to Brody Lee's family after his passing. But this one, I think works a little bit better than this one, because as at least the gold makes this one, as opposed to this one, makes this one pop a little more, having the gold there in different places. So I think this one's a little bit better. Or still the red strap similar to this one, but I think the gold does make it pop a little bit better and makes it a bit easier on the eyes, but while still having the predominantly gold and silver as opposed to the red strap. So So the TNT champ, I think I'll stick with B. So TNT Championship Gold and Red, I think I'll actually put in B. It's not. I think it's an improvement from the other one. But next up is Miro's take on the TNT Championship, which this one has kind of got mixed reception. I feel like, as do a lot of like the custom TNT Championships. This one I think is like, this one's like okay. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It does have like the white strap. No longer red strap, which is nice, but otherwise it feels like not really a whole lot going on. It does have the green to make it pop a little bit more. It's supposed to be based off like the Bulgarian colors, but honestly, you probably could have. Nah, I don't know, but yeah, not the biggest fan of this one. So Miro's TNT Championship, I think I'll have to put in C. It's not as bad as like the original, but still feels a little eh. But next up is Scorpio Sky's interpretation of it with the Lakers colors, of course, because Scorpio Sky is from Los Angeles, is so having like the Lakers colors, or I believe it's Los Angeles, or somewhere in California, but nevertheless, it's having the Lakers championship with like the purple strap, as you can see there, then this purple part for like the banner, then the gold and the yellow strap. I want to like it, but at the same time, I don't. This one's kind of tricky. I get it. I get the significance behind it, and it's not like I said, it's not as much of an eyesore as the red, but I don't know if I'm feeling it. But I think yellow and purple are colors that do usually go pretty well together. But I think I'll be generous. I think I'll put it in B. So TNT Championship Scorpio Sky. Yeah, I think I'll be generous and put it in B. Yeah, I know reception's mixed with it. Some people really like the design, some people really don't. But yeah, I gotta put it in B. But next up is the TNT Championship encrusted version. I believe it's like a replica version of it, but you kind of get the idea. The black strap and then this red banner. And this is the design they've used consistently for the most part, opposed to the other one, which we'll get to. But the encrusted one kind of takes away some of the shine. I do kind of get it, having like the diamonds in there as well, and having that part. But otherwise, I don't know if I'm a fan of it. So, but I think I'll still put it in. Excuse me. I think I'll still put it in B. But then we have the mirrored plate version, and this one looks much better as opposed to the other one. So this is the one I believe they've used the most. I believe this one was first introduced by Darby Allin, if I'm not mistaken. Versus this one, I think was introduced by. I think this one was also introduced, right? It might have been either. I think the one that introduced this one was either Darby Allin or it might have been Sammy Guevara. I'm not sure, but nevertheless, this is the one that they used. Who's pretty much the host with guys like Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and the current champion Wardlow. But this one does look really nice. I like the black strap, like the gold hold and everything, and the red banner throughout, and the red strap on the interior. It kind of reminds me a little bit like the WWE Championship with like or not the WWE Championship, like the World Heavyweight Championship, I should say, with like the red strap on the interior, but the mostly black and everything. So this one, I think, actually looks pretty solid. So I think this one will actually put in A. So the TNT Championship mirrored plates. I think I'll put it in A. I think it looks pretty solid in my opinion. But next up is the AEW World Tag Team Championships. These ones look really, really good. I like the black straps. That's the gold there. This black part over the lettering for World and Champion, and then this blue part with the globe of having the tag team there. These designs are really, really good. But and I don't know if I want to put it in all elite tier, but the AEW World Tag Team Championships are still really, really good in my opinion. Next up is the AEW World Trios Championships. These ones I really like as well. I think I might like these a little bit more than these ones even. And I do like how they're in the same vein though. Except with like darker blue for the globe, which me personally I kind of prefer the darker blue. And then it's got this gold part here, a lot of stuff going on. And then it's got the World and then Trios Championship. It's right there, and then I like how the Trios is in the globe as well, kind of similar to this. And then of course the AEW logo on top. So the World Trios Championships, which are actually really beautiful. Like the first time I saw them, I fell in love with them. Again, not sure if they're all elite, but I do really like them. But also, let me know in the comments below. Who do you think will hold the Trios Championships after the House of Black, and who do you think is going to be the next champion for each? Let me know in the comments. But next up is the AEW All Atlantic Championship, and I'll throw in the International Championship as well, only because they're pretty much the same except the lettering. But I kind of pieced them together because they are technically two different belts, but otherwise they look pretty much the same. And this is kind of just a rendering. I think I found this on DeviantArt if I'm not mistaken, and through Google Images, but pretty much the rendering pretty much the same as this. But I think I'll just make an executive decision because I was kind of going back and forth whether or not I wanted to include it or separate it. So I think I'll just do AEW All Atlantic / International. But otherwise, this championship is really, really good looking. And of course, Orange Cassidy providing a lot of legitimacy and relevance to the titles, which is fantastic to see. I like the black strap. I like this big gold piece here, and then these side pieces here also look really cool. I like the different flags here. So we got like Italy, and I believe that's China, if I'm not mistaken, and the Chinese flag with the star. Or I could be very, very wrong, and I probably am. But then you got Great Britain, you got America, you got Canada, you got Japan. So, like the flags there, even though it wasn't necessarily Atlantic, so which why they changed the name to International. But nevertheless, it's a really beautiful looking championship. So this one, I think, do I want to put it in All Elite? Is it All Elite? It's either All Elite or A. Nah, I think I'll stick with A. It's still a really good looking championship though, but I don't know if it's necessarily All Elite. I thought I'd have a lot more here, but you live and learn, I guess. But then finally, there's the FTW Championship. Now, the FTW Championship is kind of one of those like fluid, not always in canon championships. And the FTW Championship, a very interesting history dating back to ECW. So, Tat has the one who introduced the FTW Championship after not having the World Championship because he couldn't fight Shane Douglas because Shane Douglas was constantly injured while he was ECW champion. So Taz just said, you know what, screw it, I'll introduce my own championship, FTW, which stands for F the World. And then the championship kind of taking a lineage of its own, and of course being reintroduced in AEW because Taz is in AEW, who is held by guys like Brian Cage and Ricky Starks and Hook, which is cool. And Hook is the current FTW champion, which has got to be a huge honor. The father introducing it, and then his son holding the championship. That's got to be really, really cool. cool to see. And but also interesting how like the people who have been FTW champion while it's been in AEW, which ironically, I don't know if this was done on purpose or not, kind of like a similar way John Moxley wasn't able to defend the AEW World Championship, so the FTW Championship was brought in and gifted to Brian Cage, who I guess was challenging for the AEW World Championship, kind of mirroring how the FTW Championship came about in the first place. He's so kind of neat little throwback there. But like I said, it is interesting how a lot of the members of Team Taz kind of screw each other over for the championship in a way. In a way, Ricky Starks, when he won it, kind of screwed over and then ultimately kicked out Brian Cage from Team Taz. And then when Ricky Starks lost to the Hook, that's when I believe that's when Powerhouse Hobbs turned on Starks to ultimately dissolve Team Taz. But tangent aside, looking at the championship here, it does look pretty cool. Well, like for a championship that isn't always canon and has kind of been fluid in terms of canon, and more so in ECW as opposed to AEW. In AEW, it's a bit more firm in canon, I guess, because Hook has defended it quite a few times. In fact, I think he just defended it in a couple episodes of Dynamite ago. But it is still a really cool looking championship with like the black strap, and then the orange here for FTW. FTW, you got the middle finger there. You got the I think that says break it over there. Here, it's a little hard to tell. Oh, and then having the lettering there, the World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, and the FTW logo there, and then Taz's lettering there. It's pretty cool. Well, kind of simple, but sometimes less is more. And I think with like how the championship came about and kind of the lineage of it and kind of its purpose for being there, I think helps add to it. So the FTW Championship, I think I'll put in B. He's still a pretty cool championship design and a lot of orange going throughout, which I guess makes sense. But yeah, so I'll put it in B. But nevertheless, that is going to do it for this tier list. So to recap, in All Elite tier, we have the AEW World Championship. In A tier, we have the Triple B, aka the Big Burberry Belt, the current AEW Women's World Championship, the TNT Championship, the mirrored plate version, that is, the AEW World Tag Team Championships, the AEW World Trios Championships, and the AEW All-Atlantic / International Championship. In B2, we have the TBS Championship, the TNT Championship, the Golden Red version, that is, the Scorpio Skies version of the TNT Championship, the Encrusted TNT Championship, and the FTW Championship. In C2, we have the original TNT Championship and Miro's version of the TNT Championship, and in Causing a Rampage is the original AEW Women's World Championship. Yep, again, quite the upgrade. It going from that design over to the current AEW Women's World Championship. But nevertheless, that is going to do it for this tier list. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the tier list and my rankings. Do you like, dislike the tier list? Do you agree or disagree with my rankings? Let me know. What's your favorite AEW World Championship or AEW Championship design? But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.